Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's float for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be?
Maybe it's superstition, but Audra like this usually marks a good spot to rest.
Smoke weed every day.
Give me a target.
We will seek.
Got it. Cat. Oh, I have to go. I want.
So, how long do you think it'll be before the locals...
I admire the Steel Garrote's devotion to Wodeka. But I'd be lying.
The locals are bound to like us eventually.
Soon enough, the docks won't even be safe.
Watch out once you get past the palisades. The Strangerroot is apparently hostile to life, as the scholars say. Wait a moment. Oh, Verith, eat my soul. You're the envoy. Sorry, didn't mean to be so informal. They said the Emperor sent one of his best and brightest, and Aethys knows we need the help.
Your reputation precedes you.
I hope your voyage here was smooth as good butter. I know maybe too much about rough seas, what with serving in the galleys. Did you deserve it? Kidding, kidding. Sorry to hear, envoy. The living lands is dangerous. We should be sticking together. Can't imagine what might have possessed them to do that. Hope it isn't the damn soul plague. I haven't seen anything like that before. It seems to change people. Animals. Feels sometimes like the plague is alive somehow. Sorry for the glib tongue. I've tried to be more proper before. Didn't work. I'm no good at niceties, including abiding by most rules. The law and I aren't exactly the best of friends, no. Although, I think that's Adia's problem. I was mostly just stealing food. If you're born to the wrong social class, Adia makes climbing the ranks rather difficult. Anyway, that's all in the past. Land? No, absolutely not. What I've learned is you can either obey the rules or die. I got caught for my many small, petty crimes and spent about 6 years on the prison galleys. Then, a year ago, an Adiran official came to the jails and told us we could serve the Empire, for a shortened sentence, or rot. You can guess which I chose.
Hello, motherfucker.
Seems reasonable to me, too. If I get lucky, I might even die out here. All in all, it's a pretty sweet deal. 3 square meals, bed of my own, maybe even a chance to retire as a clerk. Wouldn't mind being bored stupid for a few years. Better than the alternative. But first, even more Palisades. He and the Clavager passed through not long ago. I didn't much like it, but they refused an escort. Hot-tempered bastard. I think the ambassador's scared of him, but won't do a thing because the Clavager keeps the wheels turning. Good at its job, though. Purportedly. Bad about his confections. Sweet tooth like a hummingbird's. He and the ambassador make a good pair, honestly. The ambassador talks a lot. The Clavager gets the administrative day-to-day done. Less competent than he seems. You think with all the time the ambassador spends working, he'd have more done. No. I hear he's about to sneeze away from swallowing the muck he's paddling in. Poor man.
That's my. Yeah. 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 He's out for revenge. I don't know, I just said fuck it, let me put this together, boom, done. I don't know. Like, one of the features is supposed to be like her godlike feature that kind of distinguish her from a regular. I think that's what the red is. And the the tattoo thing is like I think it's a tattoo or like a marking and then the claw marks is just a battle scar. Yeah, but like look at like Groot. I like when I saw it, I was like, oh yes. Then,
you can make like a Groot.
Yeah, I didn't want the thing in front of her face though.
Yeah.
I didn't want that. I wanted her to still kind of look like she's human, but not human. Like, yeah, like she kind of is, but she isn't. You know what I mean? But it's like she is supposed to be like a god-like looking thing. So you know, I tried.
Yeah, I wanted the features.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Pretty much.
Honestly, I'm more scared of her than Wodka. At least I understand why the Burned Queen is so pissed. Ludwig runs the Steel Garrote. Wodeka's order of paladins. The only thing they care about is their burned queen. There's honor among thieves, envoy.
Just to
But
keep you
zealots,
more and
they'll
more
raise the
into
world for their
dialogue.
god. About Adir, that same hungry empire.
Like
that
you
is
have to
looking
go through
gobble
all
up
this
the living
dialogue.
lands.
Just
The one that sends people out to maybe die for its ambitions. Kind of you to ask, envoy. The truth is, not really. Adir's fair and good to the people it thinks deserve compassion. But break its trust, and well, Adir will make you crawl to retrieve the pieces. You can tell it's a place that worships Wodeka. Actually, I miss the pies. The crust's all wrong here.
Survive.
Listen, envoy. I'm here to build defenses against the land. You want geography lessons? Go ask a cartographer. I do know a few things, though. So, ask. No, none. It's all untamed wilderness and feral heathens. I'm joking. Of course there are. There's Fjord, which is run by animancers. Thirdborn, where all the ruffians dwell. And Solus Keep, which has the Pargrunin, who don't like anybody.
it just keeps going.
And happily, too. Sounds like they've got a whole colony of
stop giving me
inventors
more
and researchers
dialogue.
there. If I want a servant of the Adiran Empire, I might say it sounds fascinating. Groundbreaking, even. I know animancy is considered blasphemous and dangerous, but Fjord supplies most of the produce we eat here in Paradise. They must be doing something right. I mean, the Pargrunin dwarves won't talk to anybody. They stay inside Solus Keep and just never come out. Once again, I'm no cartographer. But you know what they say about continents with small acreage? They've got big personalities. Little bit of everything here. Poison swamps, deserts, snow-covered mountains, volcanoes, acid seas. Because why not? A cartographer might be able to tell you more. I hear there's one in town. Miscreants and layabouts and all those things. The kind of people who can make a life out of impossibly bad situations. Settlements just as rough and tumble. Wouldn't mind having a drink with the locals, to be honest. They sound like they've got stories. You know what I mean? Heard they're under siege right now, though, by those dream thralls. Wouldn't want to be them, between the desert weather and that. that it lives up to its name. Wilder place than Adir, which has been stomped into civility. The living land scares our empire, I think. Otherwise, it wouldn't be sending its most expendable folk here. Present company excluded, of course. I think the living lands won't want to be leashed by the empire, though. But that's my opinion. I've been here a while. I don't know. I mean, I know some people in Adir think of godlike as blessed by the gods. What with you lot having a divine resemblance and all. Although, I guess some folk think godlike are cursed. Depends on what sort you are. Frankly, I don't know if I've seen your particular kind before. Still, I think there are stranger things than you in the living lands, envoy. No offense, but more importantly... Ask them then. You're a nice distraction, envoy. Just take a look down the road, and you'll see the last palisades we tried to hold. Best keep the wilds at bay here, envoy. The strangleroot is hungry. Every day, it gets closer. Every day, weirder creatures crawl out from its foliage. Be careful if you're headed out there. Anyway... Pogrunin beer is surprisingly terrible. Always trust in a Mauen to know where the best seafood is. Pay attention when the locals tell you something. And watch out for poets. Something's odd about them.
You know, for most people, getting sent to the Living Lands is a punishment. But, according to Steenrick, you're the personal envoy of the Emperor of Adir himself. Quite a position. I should ask you for some good campfire stories later. Good to know. Though, people around here have reason enough to be twitchy as it is. Talk of the plague inland has folks stirred up. More than usual. Is that why the Emperor sent his personal mystic to the Living Lands? Oh, that almost does sound like a punishment. I don't know how you investigate a so-called plague of the soul, so better you than me. Being a godlike, I don't suppose your patron deity gives you any unique insights into matters of the soul, do they? I thought every godlike knew their god. That's one of the stranger things I've heard. And out here, that's saying something. Sorry, these are unusual times. I haven't met anyone who's really seen the Dream Scourge yet, but that hasn't stopped people from worrying about the rumors. Refugees are flooding in from outlying regions. The guards are restricting access to the city. And people are making offerings to the gods for everything from hangovers to indigestion, just in case. Not much. It's hard to separate fact from rumor. I've heard it changes people, makes them confused, disoriented, and eventually violent. No one seems to know exactly how it starts. And here I was hoping for good news. Unfortunately, the presence of so many Adiran troops and the rumored exploits of the Steel Garrote paladins supporting them is only making a tense situation worse. I think that's why the Clavenger accompanied your ambassador. Don't get me wrong, we have had a welcome reprieve from the usual muggings and murders since your country folk started arriving en masse. But I don't know how long that'll last. We're talking about an island that has been largely settled by nomads, exiles, and dissidents. People who tend to be suspicious of authority. But what about you? What's your stake in things? Besides your orders, of course. Someone once told me you need more than a little crazy to last out here. I get the feeling you'll fit right in. I'll let you get some rest, but thanks for talking. It's good to be part of a squad again, even if it's just for a while. My favorite subject. That must have been 6 years ago now. I guess I was drifting, looking for a change. A settlement called Thirdborn. It's a rugged little place, lots of Rawatayan expatriates. You're pretty nosy, aren't you? I can see how you and Inquisitor Ludwig got along. Things just didn't work out there. Let's leave it at that. I joined up with the Rauatine Navy as soon as I was old enough. I was part of our campaign to establish a foothold in the Deadfire Archipelago. Starting out, it was exciting, purposeful. I believed in our mission. We were returning to our ancestral homeland, reclaiming fertile soil that would feed Rauatine. Additionally, we were helping Deadfire, bringing organization to the pirate-ridden archipelago and civilization to our distant Wana cousins. To add, you're bringing order and civilization to our lawless frontier? Then I hope you learn from my mistakes faster than I did. The Huana didn't want us there. We spent almost as much time fighting the tribes as we did pirates and Wilder. And it was hard to see how any of our fighting and dying was feeding people back home. I'd always heard that war was supposed to temper us, strengthen us, but I didn't see that either. I deserted, and I bounced between different mercenary companies for almost 10 years. Hey, not all of us catch on so quick. Besides, there were only so many options for a Rauatine deserter with no training and anything else. As a mercenary, I figured I could at least choose my battles and my crew. I ended up here, didn't I? It was more of the same. The only comfort was being part of a squad. By the time I came to the Living Lands, I'd seen enough. Had enough. I did. Yeah. For a while. Look, if I can give you some hard-won advice, stay on your toes. You're in a difficult position. Whatever your role asks of you, make sure it's something you're willing to give. Because you're the one who has to live with the consequences. Hey, advice is easy. The hard part's all you. What gave it away? My finely pointed teeth, or the striking blue of my scales? I usually hear that from someone who's enjoyed the height or position to fully appreciate it, but I'll never turn down a compliment. As rare as we are in many parts of the world, it's nice to be appreciated as something other than a magnificent bruiser. The real question is why not? Rauatine's hardly a hospitable environment. Many of us end up settling elsewhere or making a living on the go. That's where you get the popular image of the Amawa bodyguard or mercenary. A thump on the back and a crack on the skull from a brother who says you should visit more. It's complicated. I guess home usually is. Lashed by storms, battered by waves. We call it the rough country.
Smoking sensei
and old
just
trenchers say
Pedro,
it's
Pedro,
made us
Pedro
who we
between
are.
us.
We do a lot of digging for irrigation, drainage, warfare, the occasional village tournament. Anyone from Rawatai has spent enough time in some kind of hole in the ground to be on a first-name basis with the worms. So, trenchers. Those of us who leave are scramble roots, hardy weeds that can survive just about anywhere. You'd fit right in with the Ranganui's inner circle. It's true that the same things that make Rawatai a difficult place to live have shaped our people and our kingdom. Our coral masons have built living harbors and fortifications along the coast to protect our ships and shelter our cities. For all our shortage of fertile soil, Rawatai's land is abundant in saltpeter, copper, iron, most of the other materials you need to outfit your military with weapons and cannons. We value struggling and striving together. It helped us survive and build one of the most powerful navies in Aora.
Exo Harlequin 420 Exo just redeemed Pedro de Tweakers. Exo Harlequin 420 Exo just redeemed Pedro de Tweakers. Exo Harlequin 420 Exo just redeemed. Slap it on the table.